All right. What's up, guys? How you doing tonight? Doing good, doing good. Well, my name is Coleman. I'm the high school pastor here at Relevant Community Church, and I am so excited that you are joining us for this 2-week series called In God We Trust. Now, as we launch into the series, I want to start out with 2 questions for you. With these 2 questions, you're going to have the opportunity to turn and talk to one another. When I tell you to stop talking, focus back up here. So we're going to try this out first. The first question I want you to answer in just a moment when I tell you to go is I want you to talk about with the people around you the best gift that you've ever received. This gift could be maybe something you got for Christmas or your birthday. Doesn't matter, but it's the best gift that you have ever received, that somebody gave to you. Go ahead, tell the people around you, what's the best gift you've ever received? All right, bring it back. Bring it back. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, now that you've talked about the best gift that you've ever received, I want you to talk about the best gift that you have ever given. Something that you gave someone else. Maybe you spent a lot of money on it. Maybe it was something that you took a lot of time and you thought through it. But talk about the best gift that you have ever given to somebody else. Go ahead, take another minute, talk about it. All right, bring it back. Now, if you've been around YU for a while, you've heard me talk about the best gift I've ever received before. The best gift I ever got was a PlayStation 3 in 2006. I was like 9 years old. I was so excited for it. I'm not going to bore you with that story because some of you have heard it. However, I'm going to tell you about the best gift I've ever given. The best gift that I ever gave was actually to my wife before she was my wife, when she was my girlfriend still. It wasn't a surprise because she was involved in making the decision, but Justice, she has always had wanted a dog. Like, she grew up wanting a dog. She wanted a dog so badly, and all her mom ever got her was a cat and a rat. And so she's like, I really want a dog. And so for Christmas in 2019, I bought her the cutest little puppy we could. We named her Ava. This is a picture of Ava when we first got her. No joke. That was days after. There's no AI. It was snowing. It was perfect. She was the cutest little puppy. She's still very cute. She's not that cute, though. She amazing puppy. I was like, you know what? This is going to be a great Christmas. She is going to love it. One of the best gifts I have ever given. Now, we all know that we love getting gifts, especially good gifts. Like when someone goes out of their way to get us something that they know we're going to love and it means so much to us. Like, my family's always going to have the moment of me receiving a PlayStation 3 and me going crazy because I was so excited about it. Getting gifts is great, but giving is also great. Yes, when you can buy your sibling something that you know that they are going to love, or maybe you buy your boyfriend or your girlfriend something that is going to be great. Giving feels amazing. But there are all kinds of giving. Like, my family and I, every Christmas growing up, we used to go out and you ever see those people with the bells and like the red kettles? I think it's for the Salvation Army. We did that every single year as a family. And so we would give our time to go ring a bell for an hour or two and get people to donate money. That was something that's a memory that me, my siblings, my parents, we all have. And that kind of giving felt great. Some of you are going to serve with us on Sunday at Serve Day, and you're going to go and serve a camp that impacts our middle school students every single year, has impacted many of you in this room. That kind of serving, that kind of giving, it can feel great. But as high school students, there's a kind of giving that gets overlooked. Probably because it doesn't feel like it makes a huge impact. Like you're not going to go out and give somebody a car or give a homeless person $1,000 like we see influencers doing so often. This kind of giving is very private. This kind of giving is between you and God. This kind of giving, I'm going to simply label as consistent generosity. See, generosity is something that if you spend any amount of time at Relevant on Sunday mornings, you are going to hear a lot about. And over the last year at YU, we have started to talk more and more about what it looks like to be generous. However, when you're in high school, it can feel like your generosity can't really make a difference. So the question becomes, what's the point? What's the point of being generous while you're in high school? Because you and I both know that there are people who are a part of Relevant Community Church who can and do give a lot of money, like a lot of money. And you know that these people are very generous and they give an amount that you could not even imagine being able to give. I can't even imagine being able to give that kind of money to a nonprofit. And it can make us feel like, well, even to get to that point of what they might give in a year could take me an entire lifetime. And so if we have people all over our church who make more money than me, who are willing, can, and do give that money away, then the rest of us, we're off the hook, right? Like the rest of us, we don't have to do it, right? Well, my hope today is that you fully get the answer to the question, what is the point of my giving? Because no matter if it's $10 or $10,000, it can make a difference not only for the kingdom of God, but can also make a huge difference in you too. So let's dig in. See, when it comes to giving, Jesus talked about it a lot. And not for the reason you might think. He didn't talk about it because Jesus needed money. It's because he knew how closely our hearts were tied to money. You see, in Matthew 6:21, Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. That means wherever your money goes, your heart goes with it. You think of it like this, your wallet and your heart are connected. So when you give, when you give in a way that fits being consistently generous, you're not just funding something. Yes, right now at Relevant, you can see unfinished going on before your very eyes. You can see a building that's starting to be built, and it's getting taller, it's getting bigger, and we're excited to see how that's going to impact us just months from now. Yes, there's funding that goes into the YU budget so that we can do events like Red versus Green, so we can do YU dinners every week, so we can even just have YU every single week. Yes, there's funding things like making sure that I have a job. I'm fully funded by people who are generous. But funding isn't the point. The point is that you are forming something. You're shaping the kind of person that you're becoming with your consistent generosity. You see, there's a story in Mark 12 that shows this perfectly. Jesus is found sitting there as people are giving money to his ministry. And he's sitting next to what they might have called like a collection box. And some very wealthy people are walking in with legitimate bags of money. And you'd be able to hear them just dumping these bags of coins into these large pots and just showing like, hey, I am giving Jesus so much money. And people were just dropping money essentially at his feet saying, use this to advance your kingdom. And then a woman walks up and she's just labeled as a poor widow. She walks up and she drops in 2 tiny copper coins. That's it. Barely worth a penny. But when this happens, Jesus stops everything and he says, I tell you the truth. This poor widow has given more than all the others. They gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything she had to live on. You see, Jesus was not impressed by an amount. Jesus was impressed with her trust. Everyone else gave what was comfortable, but she gave what was costly. Her generosity showed where her trust really was, and her trust was not found in money, it was found in her God. And that's what consistent generosity is all about. It's not about the number that you see on a Venmo screen or the dollars that you see in a jar. It's about what is happening in your heart. And that's why generosity isn't just something that we do, it's something that does something to us. It transforms us from the inside out. It makes our hearts softer, our perspective wider, and our faith stronger. So the point of your giving isn't just to make an impact out there. It's to let God make an impact in here. Because every time you choose generosity, you are choosing transformation. So if that's the point of your giving, if the point of your giving is that your generosity can and will generate transformation in you, the question now changes from what's the point to how do I even do this? How am I even able to be generous with my money? And I'm not just going to walk through like, hey, we have QR codes and you can do this online or on Venmo. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how do you set yourself up financially in a way that allows you to be consistently generous. How are you somebody that is truly seeing transformation in your life because you are being generous? Well, in order to do that, in order to be that type of person, you have to have a plan. So I want to help you develop a plan. I'm going to go over one super simple way that you can set yourself up for being generous and invest in your future, all while having plenty of money to spend on the things that you want to spend it on. This simple plan is called the 10-10-80. You might have heard Ronnie talk about it before on Sunday mornings, but I'm simply going to use our jars from Relevant Kids, our Give, Save, Spend jars. So before we jump in, as I set up this situation, I'm just going to use $100 as our base amount. I know for many of you guys in the room, you're like, $100, I make way more than that in a week. Great. I also know plenty of you in the room are like, making $100 never happens. So we're just going to use $100 as our baseline as an example of how this works. So if I went out and I made $100 at my job, I would take 10% of that $100, and real quick, all the advanced math people in the room, how much is 10% of $100? Thank you. We got so many smart people. Jimmy, you banging your chest on that one. You excited? Yes, you would take $10. And before I do anything with the money I make, before I spend it on anything, before I save any of it, before I do anything, I'm going to take 10% of that $100. I'm going to take $10 and I'm going to give it away. Now, you might be asking, what am I supposed to give to? I have options for you. See, you can give away, you can choose what you want to give to. It's up to you. But here are just a couple options. I'm going to start with the obvious one that we talk about here. You can give to a church. You do not need to give to Relevant Community Church. You're not forced to give to Relevant Community Church or give to Youth United. You can give to any church. And you might choose to do this because, one, they decide where the money goes. When you give to a church, you're saying, hey, I trust you to make a decision on where this money ultimately goes out to. And so you'll hear at Relevant on Sundays all the time, we'll talk about the different partners that we have all over Omaha, all over Thailand, in Burma. You'll hear about all the different partners we have all the time. And so you are saying, hey, I trust this church to go out and use my money in the way that they deem it to be appropriate. The second reason you might choose to give to a church is because it actually helps you at tax time. I am not a tax expert. I do not fully understand how taxes work, but I do know that when you give to a nonprofit like a church, there is a tax break that is for you. Right now at your age, when you file your taxes because of your job, you probably get a tax return back, right? Right? You get a check in the mail. It's probably like, $500, $1,000. Well, the issue is when you become an adult and you make a lot more money, you no longer get a tax return normally. Normally, you're spending money. And so, ultimately, it can help you at tax time when you give to a nonprofit like a church. With that being said, a church is not the only place you can give to. You can give to a nonprofit that you're passionate about. If you have a nonprofit that you're like, listen, I really want to advance what they are doing. I really want them to have money to go towards, I believe what they're doing. I'm passionate about what they're doing. You can give directly to a nonprofit. They will happily take what you are willing to give. And so whether that's cash, maybe at some places it's clothes, whatever it might be, you can give directly to them. On top of that, your 10%, your giving does not have to go all to the same place. You can give it to multiple different places. You can give 5% to Relevant. You can give 5% to a nonprofit. You decide where it goes. But take that 10% and give it away. The last place that you might decide to give it away is give it to somebody who is in need. Maybe it's somebody that you know they're just having a hard time. Maybe they are somebody who is homeless. Maybe you have a friend who's dying to go to Daytona, but you know every year money becomes an issue. And so you want to give so that they can go to Daytona. All of these are options. My challenge for you is to take the very first 10% of whatever money you make and give it away in some way. The next step is to take 10% of everything that you make and save it. Save it. Put it away. Because as humans, we're really good at spending money. Some of us are good at giving money, but there's not many people, especially when you're young, who are good at saving money. And trust me, I was no different. When Justice and I got married and we combined our bank accounts, she probably looked at my bank account and it said savings account $20. And that was probably because I just put it in there just randomly. Like, I did not save any money. I was able to buy a ring, and that was it. Like, that's all the saving I ever did. And so saving is something that just doesn't come naturally to some people. And so it's a good way to set yourself up for success in the future and invest in the future you. But you might be saying, Coleman, what do I do? How do I actually save? If I know I'm giving my 10% away, what do I do with the 10% I'm trying to save? Great question. If you have a bank account, you probably have a checking account and you probably have a savings account. Use a savings account. Put money in there and don't take the money out. Only take the money out if you absolutely need it, or if you're trying to buy a car, you're trying to buy a ring in the future, you're trying to buy a house in the future, whatever it might be, save up some money and don't touch it. That means if you're going out with your friends and you guys are stopping at Culver's down the street, and you don't have any money, you don't go to your savings account and take $15 out. You don't use it on something like that. You use it on something that is important. Another option, just so you have a few different ones out there, is you have a savings account. It's actually called a high-yield savings account. That means you put money away, and the money actually grows slowly while it is in this type of savings account. Normally, a high-yield savings account is between 3 and 5% every single month. So if you take an amount, say you took $100, you put it in a high-yield savings account, the next month you would have 3 to 5% more in that savings account. It's a way to take money and allow it to work for you so that you can continue investing in your future. It's not just sitting in a vacant account. There are also many other ways that you can use your saved up money. I'm not an expert. Those are the two ways that I would suggest that you use it. And the final step, 80%, 10, 10, 80. Spend it. Spend your money. It's okay to spend your money. This is one, we don't need to talk about it very much because I know you're good at it. Take your money and spend it. Now, right now in high school, the things you have to spend your money on, probably hanging out with friends, probably gas, and probably food. Those are probably the things that you're spending money on. That's great. You have 80% of everything you make to go towards hanging out with your friends, food, and your gas. Maybe some of you have insurance. Maybe you have a couple other things. I get it. All of that 80% is anything that you need to spend money on. However, 80% is not always just your fun money. Your 80% also includes your bills. So if you have to pay for your car insurance, it doesn't come out of the 10% you give. Your car insurance doesn't come out of the 10% that you save. Your car insurance comes out of your 80% that you spend. So your spending money is on the fun things and also the things that you are responsible for. All that comes out of your 80%. Guys, here's why I'm teaching on this. Because as humans, a lot of us are just bad with money. Guess what? There are times where I am bad with my money. And if you start creating good, giving, saving, and spending habits right now while you are in high school, you are setting yourself up for a success that other high school students or other college students or other young adults are not going to have because you are making a responsible choice. That way, no matter if you're making $100 a month, if you're making $35,000 a year, or if one day you're making millions of dollars every single year, you are seeing transformation from your generosity, you are investing into your future, and you are getting to enjoy the life that you are living in. Guys, this 10-10-80 plan is just a simple way for you to find a way to give, and to save, and to spend. And if you start doing this right now while you are in high school, like I said, you are going to set yourself up for so much more success in the future. Now, this is only a 2-week series. Next week, we're actually going to come together and just do one thing. Next week, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate because last year, a lot of us were in the auditorium together, and we made a commitment. We made a 1-year giving commitment to Unfinished. And guess what? That year is over. And so we're going to take a look back of over the last year of what God has done, and also take a look forward to what we believe God is going to do. So next week we're going to have a little opportunity to celebrate Unfinished and everything that has happened. But for now, I want us to pray and go to small groups and talk about this 10-10-80 rule. So pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I just pray for all the students in this room. God, I pray that we would have a desire to be responsible with the money that we have. God, I pray that we would first take 10% and we would give it away. Then we would take 10%, we would save it. And God, then give us a wisdom on what to spend our money on after that. God, thank you for just this opportunity to talk about this and just challenges to take next steps as we go to our small groups. God, it's in your name that we pray. Amen. All right, head to your small groups. You don't know where to go, come on up here. I'll get you to the right place.